I grew up in Queens, New York, with immigrant parents. We knew God and I went to church, but it wasn't really real for me. And I remember just growing up, I really struggled with the idea of faith. And my parents, because they were immigrant parents, they work really hard, but we were really living, in the projects on like a $200, weekly salary, supporting a family of four. And it was just very hard for us. But the one thing I do remember is they tried really hard to be faithful.
But for me, good numbers of years were just simply going to church and meet my friends on Sunday and just have fun. It's nothing really connect with meeting Jesus or learning about Bible. But to me, the meeting Jesus, that experience was like seeing a little light at the end of the cave. It comes bigger and slowly coming into my life. You get to know more about Jesus, and you literally adapting the words from Bible for real. And then day-to-day life, you experience about this powerful God's work in your life. That was actually a pretty tough period for my life. I was just on my own financially, and I even have no family member in the United States, a few friends. Basically, at one point I had to work 4 jobs, paycheck to paycheck. It wasn't easy life. But one thing that I learned and experienced was God has my back.
I grew up in that faith, but, you still struggle with it because you realize that meeting Jesus is not a moment. Meeting Jesus is about, the relationship and how you have to grow. And so there were a lot of hardships along the way, getting ready to go to college and finding a job thereafter. I work in finance now, but you realize there are a lot of people with huge networks, people who can go through the back door, and I never had any of that. And so for me, it was very important for me to always kind of realize that God is my connection. Your father could be Bill Gates, but my father is the Father God. And I really held on to that, and that was very important for me. I think it has set a tone in my life that if I give to God, God provides for me in multiple ways. And I think as I have grown and as we got married and as we have kind of thought about how we want to give and participate in God's work, that has always been important to us to know that it's real. It's not just something in the Bible, but if you actually give to God, God provides for you. And so that's been, a big foundation, I think, of how, we've set the tone for how we want to participate in God's work.
Having a business is a lot of obstacles on the way, daily, weekly, monthly. But whenever I hit the dead ends, I've experienced that faith, that God pulling me through that period.
We both met Jesus at an early age, and I think we know the value of understanding God. It's been an amazing journey for us to see our children grow, to see them praising God alongside of us. And you see that even at a young age, at 6 and 4, that Jesus is real in their life. It's an amazing thing.
It's amazing to this family together, we building the mission thing together and plant seed locally, and in family, inside a family as well.
Yeah, I think for us, like the work of God always seemed very spectacular. It has to be very big. You have to travel around the world and do all these things. And then I think coming to C3, we realized that the vision of God is not about, something that's far away. The vision of God is right here, locally, like with your family, with your children, with your friends, with your church. And that's where the heart starts. That's where the vision starts. And that's been so valuable for us when we see the next generation and, all the stories that people have. That's how you know that God is working. And, we're so just thankful that we're a part of that.